Hi, I'm Nick, and these are my 10 essential items with GQ. My woodworking kit. Woodworking is actually like something I took up pretty recently, but I saw an interview by Andrew Garfield and he was talking about carpentry and how meditative it is and relaxing. And I think, we spend so much time in our heads as actors, and I think it's important to have something that kind of gets you out of your head. My sister's boyfriend actually makes spoons as a hobby and has done for like 15 years. So I saw his plethora of spoons. I kind of wanted to join in myself. It was kind of a nice bonding exercise, really. I definitely have my favorite spoon, which I think was actually the first spoon I ever made. Didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I just went with a really rudimentary shape, but I think it's very sophisticated and elegant. After making a number of spoons, I kind of got bored by the spoon making, so I started making chess pieces. My favorite is this little alien robot guy. He's kind of got this corporate tie on. Sort of if Wall-E was a little corporate businessman, I think that's what he would look like, and that's my favorite one. My next item is Listerine sprays. You can do the Listerine spray or you can do the Listerine strip, so I'm kind of partial to both. On my last film, I worked with Anne Hathaway and we had a lot of make-out scenes. Oftentimes, our intimacy coordinator would come in and give us a Listerine strip, and we used them so much that Annie was kind enough to commission a painting of Listerine strips for me, and now I have that hanging up in my apartment, and I think about that movie every single time I see them. Seaweed snacks. Oftentimes when you're working as an actor, you have to stay in decent shape. And for me, I'm a massive binge snacker. And when they have amazing snacks on craft, like crisps and sweets and everything like that, it's very easy to start, munching away. But seaweed snacks are light and they're healthy and I enjoy them very much. And I usually get these kind of strips. But these are seaweed crisps, vegan cheese flavor. And they're shaped in a sort of like a fish. Is that a fish? Is that a whale? Or is it kind of abstract? This is not what I was expecting. Okay. And you can see, these are more bunched together. I mean, we were talking about health-related snacks before. I'm not sure these are quite as healthy as my classic Itsu seaweed snacks, but let's give it a try. That is good, but I think it slightly defeats the point of why I have seaweed snacks. So maybe these can be my like special occasion snacks. My next essential item is an Arsenal jersey. I've seen videos online of people like Daniel Kaluuya, Charlie Heaton, people saying that they are massive Gooners. I want to put it out there once and for all that I am the biggest Gooner. I live in LA, I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to watch the games, haven't missed a game in many a year. It's got the name of my favorite Arsenal player, one of two of my favorite Arsenal players, Dennis Bergkamp. He scored an incredible goal against Newcastle, which people often talk about to this day. With Arsenal players and football players and athletes, I really feel so starstruck. I remember I went to the Emirates this year to watch the North London derby, and I think even just being in the same area as the players was just, I was just so in awe. I desperately would like to meet Bukayo Saka. I mean, he's an incredible player, but he's also just such an amazing role model. He's got such a great attitude, and yeah, I hope he can take us all the way. I'd say my earliest memory is watching the game against Barcelona when we got to the Champions League final. The hope that we could possibly win, we went 1-0 up. And then we had a player sent off, Jens Lehmann, and we went 2-1 down. And I remember the game finishing and running up to the bathroom and just like staring and crying into the mirror, looking at myself. I should have known I had a future in the dramatics. My next items are hot sauce, specifically Cholula hot sauce. Everyone in the US particularly has their own favorite brand of hot sauce. My thing with Cholula is it's not kind of greasy like a Frank's hot sauce or a sriracha. It's quite light, you can kind of put it on anything. But I actually really got into hot sauce when I worked in New Mexico, and in Albuquerque they put green and red chilies in absolutely everything. And my spice tolerance to that point was really, really quite bad. But after spending 6 months there, now I definitely have a decent spice tolerance. My favorite thing is, if you've got like some scrambled eggs, halloumi cheese, I like kind of sprinkling it on there. You can really use it in anything. I use hot sauce. I go through a lot of hot sauces. I drink it by the bottle. I like to just chug it. We all have our things. Mine is chugging hot sauce. My next essential is some under eye cream. I have eternal eye bags. A lot of people oftentimes will come up to me and say, wow, you look so exhausted. Poor little Victorian boy, you should go and sleep. I am very well slept, and sometimes I just need a little extra vibrancy in the eye area. And so something like this I think is super useful. I definitely put that on my eyes. Every morning I walk to the ocean and I bathe in the ocean for 3 hours straight. Really refreshes all of my pores, and then I just think about life for another 5 hours, and then I'm ready for the day. Maison Margiela by the fireplace. Actually, this was given to me at an industry party. They were handing these out. I think me and like 80 other actors were probably wearing the same scent for the space of about 3 months. But since I got given it, I mean, I can't stop using it. I don't really have too many tips for picking a scent. I like things that are quite earthy, not overpowering. You know, there's certain people who kind of their scent hits you, 10 feet before you actually meet them. I think with something like this, which is really subtle and suave and very masculine, it's just for my taste, but might not be for everyone. My next item, and one of my most useful items I find, is an eye mask. I am an extremely light sleeper. I like to think of myself as a bit of a ninja, never gonna get murdered in my sleep, which is good, but it means that I have a sensitivity to light. So I carry one of these little guys around with me all the time, like something nice and delicate and silky like this, because I'm a very fancy human being, but each their own. The older I get, I find I'm going to bed earlier and earlier, which checks. I feel like because I've been traveling so much for work over the last couple of years, it kind of always varies depending on where I'm working. So that's why this is, I guess, my only sort of routine when it comes to sleeping. My next item is just run-of-the-mill journal. I'd say the journal is kind of the thing that keeps the most sort of self-preservation in terms of your thoughts and everything. One, as just a process when you're building out a character and you want to write down their past, or how you construct them, I think, as an actor. But also I think it's just great to kind of getting your thoughts out, and I recommend this to any young person who maybe doesn't want to go to therapy or doesn't want to talk about what's going on. I think putting it in a journal is a really great way at self-care. My next items are coffee pods, or just Nespresso machines in general. I feel like I've had about 15 of these in the last few years based on every location that I've filmed on. On a certain job, I actually opened up my own little coffee shop out of my trailer. Cast and the crew and producers, directors would kind of come, and I'd make them a lovely cup of Nespresso coffee. I've actually graduated to the cappuccino, and I actually had quite a traumatic experience in an Italian airport, where I asked for a latte, thinking this barista, working in an international airport where he meets people who are not Italian, I thought he would understand what I meant. But instead, he passive-aggressively handed me a hot cup of milk, which apparently is what a latte means in Italy. So I have personal beef with that man, and I will be resolving that at some point in the future. But to avoid all of the confusion, generally just order a cappuccino and be an adult, not a child. Thanks everyone for watching. Those were my 10 essentials with GQ.